I just found out my fiance is a liar, but I'm supposed to marry her in 2 weeks. Part 2.
Oh, we're getting into part 2. Part 1 was already a doozy.
It was already insane, but Sam, we're gonna freaking up the ante. We might have SWAT teams. We don't know. A guy discovers his fiance Sarah has been helping his sister Evelyn cover up a 6-month-long affair behind Evelyn's husband Marty's back. This bombshell drops 2 weeks before their wedding, and he finds the evidence on Sarah, his fiance's phone, and takes screenshots. Overwhelmed, he tells Marty everything, helps him gather proof, and tracks Evelyn's affair partner, who turns out to be a married man with a child. OP decides to call off the wedding because he can't trust Sarah anymore. Drama escalates when he confronts Sarah, emotions run high, and the situation spirals. Now he's navigating the fallout of a canceled wedding, family drama, and lost trust. And that is a TLDR for
That's
part
a good TLDR. Dang, who came up with that?
Who or what?
Yeah, it's a what?
Hi, it's me again. I want to thank everyone who has sent me kind messages and support here on Reddit and even on other platforms. This has really blown up, and frankly, it's totally bizarre to see my life plastered all over the internet, but it's nice to see so many people seeming to be genuinely concerned for me. It helps a lot. At first, I had a bit of trepidation about how visible this became, like, what have I done? But since this past weekend, I decided to just roll with it. After all, the cat is already out of the bag, and I really believe I've done nothing wrong here, despite a small minority of commenters saying otherwise. And by the way, this comes from the one and only OneTop3934 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So I guess there is a lot to go over, and so much has happened. Most of it, if I'm honest, hasn't been that great. Really? You don't say. It's actually been downright crappy, but I'll get to that. For people who are just following along, the link to my original post is here. First off, I left Mark's house pretty late that night. And again, Mark is the buddy / private investigator who helped him find out all of the, the cheating story. So Sarah already knew I was out discussing business with him, although she had no idea that the business was actually her sister's affair. Gotcha. I'm in the business of exposing you. But still, it was getting to be an unreasonable hour, mostly because I was trying to get up the nerve to go home and face her. After about 2 or 3 pep talks from my buddy Mark, I finally got off my keister and texted Sarah I was coming home.
Mark's a great friend.
Dude, Mark is the GOAT. Like, he's doing all this, I believe, for free. As I said in the last update, I was pretty surprised when I got there because when I walked into the house, Evelyn was crying on the couch with Sarah. Again, Evelyn was the cheating sister-in-law.
And this is kind of like where we left them last.
This is where we left them
at the end. Yeah.
We only got like a very high-level TLDR of what happened. We're about to get the juice. I hadn't seen Evelyn's car in the driveway when I came home, so this was probably the last thing I was expecting. I froze for a moment and almost turned around and left. This was not how I imagined this going down, and I knew that Evelyn's presence was going to make a bad situation a million times worse. Because again, he's trying to confront his soon-to-be ex-fiance about like, oh, I don't want to get married. And here's the person who caused this whole thing right in the living room. Not what you want. Still, I had a timetable that I wanted to move on. I had friends that I needed to notify and wedding preparations to cancel. And the proverbial clock was ticking in the back of my head. So when I entered the room, both Sarah and Evelyn looked up at me in acknowledgement, but the tirade of accusations never came. I just stared back, raising my eyes in question. The moment passed, and Evelyn went back to crying, Sarah went back to comforting, and I let it awkwardly hang in the air for half a minute while I thought it seemed that Marty hadn't mentioned my assistance in uncovering Evelyn's affair. Because remember, which is, I mean, they don't even know that he knows.
They don't even know.
They don't even know.
Wait, so Sarah's still in the dark about everything.
Both of them are in the dark of OP's covert operation to find all the evidence,
dude,
right?
This was so covert.
Right?
This was so covert.
And shout out to Marty for G-Move. He basically didn't expose that. He wasn't like, he could have easily been like, OP found all the evidence, told me. He just said probably, I found it and got all the evidence. So, hey, that was smart. A lot of big brains. A lot of big brain moves happening here,
big old brains.
So, what does OP do? You might ask, Samuel? Riley, chat? I decided to play dumb. Not for any reason other than I wanted to see how Sarah reacted. So I took a seat in the recliner. I put down my laptop bag and I took my phone out of my pocket. I made it look like I was fidgeting with it and then asked them, hey,
what's up?
What's
going on, you little kooky girls?
You little ladies.
What, you got some girl gossip? What's the hot goss going on, my ladies?
It's divorce. That's the hot goss. Evelyn just continued to cry. But Sarah looked at me and said, Marty is divorcing Evie.
Oh no. What a surprise.
Oh my gosh.
Why?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. We freaking know. Well, yes, I figured as much, OP says. I decided to push ahead with the obvious question. What for? Why, per se? What hath doth doneth?
Yep. What hath doth doneth?
Sarah stopped patting Evelyn's back for a moment and looked at me. I could almost see her face twist and contort. Imagine the look a 5-year-old makes when you tell them to eat their broccoli or finish their lima beans. Evelyn shot Sarah a look that I didn't need to be a sister to understand, and there was a pregnant pause until Sarah finally said she cheated on him.
Oh.
They admit it.
Is that a green flag? It definitely is good.
It's not a green flag, but it's not a red flag like all of the previous flags she's gotten.
I feel like it's a
Yellow?
Well, I think
It's a green flag that
I
she
think
came
it's a green
out.
flag.
Yeah, you're right.
I think it's a green flag.
A green flag amidst all the other red flags.
I feel like it's like slitting someone's throat and then giving them CPR. You know, it's like the giving CPR is like a green flag, but there's all this stuff that you did before that you're like, I don't know if I can
null
really.
and void.
What I see is like a mountain of red flags, and I see a green flag on top, and I'm like, oh, a green flag, but it's like so many red flags are below.
Yeah,
I agree. A broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah.
You know, you can have one green flag in your mountain of red flags on your court on the course. Yeah.
I feel like that's what I look for in a woman.
Oh God,
just one green flag right at the top.
The Samuel Donner special. Now, I have to admit, this response freaking floored me. This was absolutely not what I was expecting. Sure, the most cynical readers might think, well, the cat was out of the bag, so there's no point in hiding it. And yes, that's true. But it's also true that she could have just as easily feigned ignorance or even worded it another way, like Marty accused Evie of cheating. That's true. That is true.
That's true.
Instead of basically confirming it to my face, with her there, by the way, maybe I'm being pedantic here, a lot of good SAT words, but it's part of my job to pay attention to not only what people say, but how they say it.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one for the golden rules.
Is a professional. He puts the pro in professional. Ladies and gentlemen. Evelyn wasn't happy about this. I wonder why.
Because she's this witch.
She kind of crumpled into the couch a bit and did this strange combination of a sigh and sob at the same time. I wanted to press on. Go for the gold.
That's my sigh.
Wait, one more time. Reenactment. Oh, I got more for you, Evie. That was a live reenactment. Ooh. Because Opie says, I wanted to press on, go for the gold, to sort of speak, but I might have stammered a bit. Sarah probably interpreted it as shock, and well, she would have been right in a sense, just not how she assumed. Did you know? Sarah didn't say anything. She just nodded, her hand still rubbing her sister's shoulder. I didn't hesitate and asked for the obvious follow-up, how long? The answer came back a lot easier than I thought it would. 6 months. The truth. The truth. Two truths. Two
green flags.
And 1,000 lies.
Yeah. It's like, I feel like
we're turning the corner for you?
Maybe we're like, there's all this death and destruction, but we're building a new city on top of it. And like, we're just going to leave that in the past. And, we're kind of Mexico City it,
However, OP saying all of this stuff.
Also, to be clear, Mexico City was built on Aztec land, and they murdered all the Aztecs, and the Spaniards came in and built New Mexico City. That's my reference.
I did not get that right. I thought because you guys got super sick and like almost.
Oh, that too.
Little double entendre for you guys. But yeah, I guess Sarah is implicating herself because she is admitting that she knew, and because I was going to say like, oh, it's not really hurting her. She's just describing Evie's situation. But yeah, she is telling the truth even though it's hurting her.
Hey, yeah.
Not sold. I'm not sold yet. Opie says, I was shocked by how easily she admitted to it. Evelyn was shocked as well. She smacked her sister's hand off her, and I even think Sarah was a little shocked at saying it out loud. Nobody in the room, even Sarah who's saying it,
Dude, but I feel like Sarah's playing some 4D chess to like save her marriage.
Right.
I feel like she actually does know that OP knows and is doing this to get ahead. Like, I don't know. She's
theory.
like that good of a liar.
I think you're probably right. I think even if she didn't get it directly, I think she surmised that maybe OP figured it out, given his work and like everything else. And yeah, now she's trying to like make it look like she's coming clean and having green flags, but it's secretly a red flag. I think we got this.
Smart cookie.
I think we got this.
I can fix her.
Oh God. Again, the Samuel Donner special. So I leaned back in the recliner and I rubbed my face. Time to tug the rest of the Band-Aid clear off.
Ooh.
That is some interesting word choice, sir.
Nice. Okay.
Opie says, we're not getting married.
Woo! Wow.
That's ripping the Band-Aid off, ladies and gentlemen.
I think, good that he's staying steadfast.
True. Like, honestly, at this point, just you've not confronted her for so long. Get it all right now. I'm here for that. There were 2 looks like stunned goats and a chorus of, huh? What? From both sisters. I stood up and repeated myself.
Yeah.
We're not getting married. I can't marry someone who would cover up adultery, especially not for 6 months. Man said it with his chest for the people in the back.
I meant to do this.
I will marry my cheating wife or my wife to be who helped her our sister cheated. Wolf of Cheat Street. So Sarah sprang off the couch and opened her arms. The body language was, you can't be serious. But I just put my hands up in front of myself. I'm serious. I don't like this. Not one bit. I don't like that you took part in this, and I can't get married to you with how I feel. It would be a mistake. The waterworks started immediately, and even Evelyn did that thing where her mouth that looks like a perch trying to suck air.
Yeah, you're doing it right. That's it.
Good boy.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Okay.
That. There were wails from Sarah, accusations of not loving her, appeals to my sense of duty, to the loss of money, the inconvenience to all of our friends, and the embarrassment of it all. It was frankly nothing I hadn't already thought of, but it definitely felt different hearing Sarah say it through body-racking sobs. It was at this point I probably made a big mistake. Well, maybe not, because I have no idea how long Marty would have kept my involvement in everything off the books, because remember, they still don't know.
Yep.
OP was the sleuth, basically, who revealed all the information.
Dude, Evie's gonna be pissed.
Dude, this is...
She's gonna be pissed. I think you shouldn't say anything just because of her, like, retaliation. But yeah, she'll probably find out though.
But Sam, this episode needs to go crazy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We need SWAT teams pulling up all around the perimeter.
Baby.
Okay.
Oh, baby. Okay, let's hear it.
But in an effort to convince Sarah of the finality of it all, I said, look, I already canceled the honeymoon. It's not happening. I knew it was a bomb the second it left my mouth, and the explosion was dang near immediate. Evelyn, to her credit, had always been pretty quick on the uptake, which is probably how she managed to fool her husband for so long. I could almost see the realization dawning on her when she put it all together, and with my appearance at the bar earlier in the evening, because he had seen her earlier with the affair partner, she screamed, "You son of a..." Screamed it and flew across the room at me. Now, I'm not that huge of a guy, but I'm no slouch either. But the force that Evelyn flung herself at me with had me staggering backwards, and I barely had enough time to get my hands up before she started raking my face with her fingernails. This is straight up attacking.
Oh my God.
Could be sued for. Probably. I almost lost the phone I still had in my hand, but I managed to push her away and say very loudly, Evelyn, get off of me. Sarah, get your sister under control. Evelyn made another lunge for me, but surprisingly, Sarah did exactly what I asked her to and wrapped her arms around my sister's waist and just held her in place, just fighting. Let me out. Don't hold me back.
It kind of reminds me of one scene in Harry Potter 1 where the guy's like holding the bludger and he,
Dude, Evelyn's a bludger. That's for sure.
Evelyn's a fucking bludger.
About to bludgeon. I looked at Evelyn and yelled, get out of here right now or I'm calling the police. Holding my phone up for emphasis. Sarah asked both of us to calm down and she said to me, OP, she doesn't have anywhere to go right now and Marty took her car keys. That explained the lack of a car in the driveway earlier, but I didn't care. I was 100% through with Evelyn and I was going to make sure she knew it. I marched into my home office and locked the door and dialed the popo.
The poo-poo.
The poo-poo. Read as written. I told them I had been attacked by my fiance's sister and had locked myself in my office. That I was from my face. Yikes. Evelyn had scratched me pretty good along the inside of my left eye. Oh, God. And that my vision was blurry and I feared for my life. I even told them that I had recorded the entire altercation on my phone. Sarah comes knocking on the door. OP, please come out. We need to talk about this. And please, I love you. Don't do this. We don't need to do this.
OP's doing it.
What did I say last episode? What did I say? Sarah was going to be like, no, we don't. It's okay. We don't need to do this. Like, it's all going to be good. We'll figure it out.
Maybe you shouldn't have lied.
You shouldn't have freaking lied, Sarah. And even Evelyn is so sorry. She wants to apologize. I'm pretty sure that last one was a lie, but Sarah was obviously losing her crap. I didn't answer her, and her attempts to cajole me out of the office ended probably right when the police walked up to the front door. I could hear Sarah talking to them, and I decided to come out. The cops were two males. One of them looked younger than me, maybe around Sarah's age, and the other one looked older and more annoyed about life in general. I introduced myself. Hi, coppers. It's me, the exposer, OP, and pointed at Evelyn, stating that she had attacked me and offered to show the cops the recording I made. Do we know if that was legal? Or
reporting yourself being assaulted
is legal.
Yeah.
And it's also OP's house too.
Exactly.
So probably within the confines of the law. The younger one asked me if I wanted to press charges. I said yes. He asked me again if I wanted to press charges. I said yes again. At this point, both cops looked at each other, and before the young cop could open his mouth again, I said, yes, dang it, I want to press the charges. I have video evidence, and this is going to court, or else I'm going to call up your boss. I dropped his name.
Because OP has the PI kind of stuff.
Dude, is OP like running the police? What is happening?
Dude, OP is Anthony Soprano.
Literally, like OP just runs the city, and he's using all of his insane connections to just puppeteer, pull the strings of this whole scenario.
I love OP's winning. I love that he's winning.
OP is up right now.
I mean, well, not that up. But he's like
net up. He's net up.
He's not
right.
He got ahead. He's ahead.
Well,
he's in the process of getting up.
Yeah, I guess his marriage is destroyed.
Yeah.
And his sister-in-law is terrible. So
yeah, but he was in a hole. But he's climbing. He's climbing out of that hole.
I'm going to call up your boss. I dropped his name here and ask him to come down to do it himself. I think they were pretty surprised that I knew his name. Not that we are friends or anything, but given my line of work, I spend plenty of time interfacing with local law enforcement, and I have met most of the brass or talked to them on the phone a couple of times in the last few years. Honestly, at this point, I was getting pretty hot under the collar. And while I get that these guys were thinking I don't agree with it at all, facts are facts. Sure, I might not be out on the floor, but Evan got physical with me in my own home and I wanted her gone. Yeah, that definitely seems like charges could be pressed. Thankfully, the situation didn't immediately escalate and the two officers handcuffed Evelyn and put her in the back of the patrol car.
Freaking justice. That's some sweet justice.
Dude.
I mean, she did attack him to the point of drawing.
Yeah, and in
his own home,
inside, like close to his eye, like the vision was blurry. He has I mean, cutting hair is you could go to court.
If you cut a Amish man's beard, that's a hate crime.
Can't do that. Can't do that.
You cut John's hair, hate crime.
Don't get any freaking ideas. Evelyn was squealing and crying like some sort of gibbering maniac the entire time. Sarah wasn't much better either. She kept just going, no, please, no, please, over and over again. At this point, the younger cop circled back and asked us if everything was okay here. I just told them I was going to bed. He asked Sarah again, and she didn't immediately answer. So he goes, is everything okay here, ma'am? To be crystal clear. It was clear what he was fishing for. At this point, I really disliked this guy, but I bit my lip. Sarah finally realized that the cop was addressing her and just nodded at him.
He might be looking for like some kind of DV.
Yeah, like, is the man in this situation doing any physical harm to you two?
Which is is fair.
I think is totally fair.
He's just trying to do his job.
Yeah,
and like that is generally like the most common dynamic in a lot of those DV cases. So
totally.
Like, I don't see it being like, but I also, on the other side, he's not fully doing his job if he's not figuring out like where this is coming from.
Totally. I think the cop is in the right for this. Like, ask and check, because he doesn't know he's coming to this. And OP hasn't done anything, to our knowledge as his narrating the story, but check. Sarah finally realized that the cop was addressing her, and she just nodded at him, saying everything was okay, basically. Obviously, the cop is not satisfied with this and starts to ask her again, at which point I interject and say, if you want to go on a fishing expedition, you might want to do it over there on the lawn where my doorbell camera isn't recording you. Maybe as a koi pond or something.
Yeah, well, no, because he's fishing for
evidence.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Yeah, I get it. And he's like saying like, hey, and also you're on camera.
Yeah, which is not helping Opie's case. Like that's to me not what an innocent person would say.
Well, no, but I think it's fair. It's like, hey, like you're fishing, obviously, like and I'm catching you on camera, just so you know.
I guess so. Yeah, I mean he hasn't. So, but yeah, again, I feel like Opie's like misdirecting anger at this point, but I digress. Opie says, I think at this point I had pushed my luck with this guy one too many times, but what could I do? I think I was probably about 30 seconds from getting the cuffs slapped on me until his partner came up and basically pulled him away. He was an older man, probably in his late 50s, and probably didn't want to process 2 arrests right at the beginning of his shift, especially when one of them was obviously going to be more trouble than it was worth. I'm pretty sure he talked him out of it, and they left, carrying Evelyn away and hopefully out of my life forever. At this point, I'm thinking about if I want to even stay here at my house or not.
Well, I mean, I think it depends where Sarah's staying.
That is a good question.
Yeah.
The fact that my parents live a couple of hours, combined with the thought about how poor I'm going to be in the short term here, ruled out either their place or a hotel, so I just decided to sleep in the guest room. Sarah made some futile efforts to get me to engage with her in conversation or go to sleep in our bed, but I just told her we'd talk tomorrow, that I was tired and didn't want to be disturbed. Yeah, after all that,
we're not sleeping in the same bed.
We're not sleeping in the same. We're not.
Unless like,
dang,
dude. Sam's trying to get the Samuel Donner special to do something special for Samuel Donner.
Hey, I'm just saying, makeup, sleep is good.
Oh, did your bracelet? You said you didn't get enough hours. You're trying to make up a sleep, right?
You
a little nap.
8 hours. You gotta get those
right. Yeah, okay.
Your recovery's low. You need to sleep.
Yeah.
That's what the whoop says.
Thankfully, she let me be, and I crashed harder than I had in years, which pretty much brings us up to speed to the last update. But dear friends of Reddit, let me tell you this. The next day was by far the weirdest effing day of my life. So far, everything else has not been the weirdest effing day of his life so far. The next day is. What's coming up is.
What more could happen?
What more possibly could? Do we have any conspiracy theories while I take my jacket off?
I think she's really gonna fight for the relationship with every dastardly trick in the book.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna make some eggs and bacon in the morning.
Yep.
And be all cute and
nothing happened.
Yeah.
Act like
hey,
nothing
darling, good morning. Here's your breakfast and everything else.
Harriet Spaghetti says Sam is trying to be less of a and more discreet since his father gave him a stern talking to. Yeah. No, I'm not.
Good memory.
I'm not around anymore.
No. Our same boy is a pure boy.
Yeah.
Very pure boy.
Riley, have a bit slut?
No, not really. I haven't got any juicy stories from him.
Yeah, I haven't been slut.
Riley would know. Riley would know.
You know what I'm doing?
Hmm.
The only thing that's going into me is this glucose monitor.
There we go. Extra blood sugar.
Blood sugar.
That's all that's going in there.
Yeah, no slutting for me, which means no.
I'm so horny.
God.
No, well. I just meditate. No.
It's
all fine.
Meditating O's. Anyways, are we ready to get to the weirdest effing day of Opie's life?
Yes.
Yeah.
So to start with, I wake up at 11 a.m. A weird time. Sarah was still home. She had cleaned the house from top to bottom. My man's called it.
Josephine McGoldberg says she's gonna act like a 50s housewife.
Dude, nice one, Josephine.
Nice
Nailed it.
catch.
Nailed it. I mean, the floors sparkled. The toilets shined. I could lick the linoleum in the bathroom, and it'd probably be minty fresh. She had obviously been busy, but when she saw me, she sort of hovered out of immediate rage, but not quite engaging, but looking like she wanted to say something. I get it. Last night was traumatic for everyone, and she was probably uncertain, like, did I just cancel the wedding in the heat of the moment? Was I serious about this? Was I really angry? I just took a deep breath and told her we needed to finish talking. She tried to sit next to me on the couch, and I thought about rebuffing her, but I didn't. We were not getting married, but I didn't need to act like I hated her. But truthfully, I didn't. I was disappointed in her, but decently disgusted by some of the things I had read in her text message exchanges between her sister. But we were both hurting here, and I didn't want to make it any worse.
I really want to know what she was saying. Like, what was so disgusting?
In the
Was she like, yeah, like, go cheat on him, you girl? Like, he's a little turd.
I remember in the first episode, he said, like, they talked about very intimate moments with my brother-in-law that I, like, didn't want to know or something. I think Evelyn was dishing, like, oh, you know, Marty, he's you know, just terrible in bed and everything, but Jake.
Yeah.
But Jake is a different
Jake's
story.
Got a long hog.
Jake's got a Drake.
Jake's
if you know what I'm talking about. If you've seen that video, ladies and gentlemen.
That's been scraped from the internet.
Oh, yeah, but
I've
not from my brain.
It. Yeah, not from my downloads folder.
Dude, right? Not from my screensavers.
And not from the poster on my wall.
Dude, you know you're in a good partnership when you and your partner watch it together. No further comment will be
on
added.
repeat.
Huh?
On repeat.
I mean, you know, it's
full screen.
It's pretty mesmerizing.
R. Kelly playing in the background.
No. God. How did it go there?
It's the
we know what's playing in the background, Sam.
Hot and fresh out the... Oh, God. Yeah. No one man should have all that power.
All right. That was fine. That was good. I'll give you that one.
That was good.
Nice work. All right, but back to OP's story, okay? God, turning the tables on me. So I was disappointed in her, decently disgusted by some of the things I had read in her text messages between her sister, but we were both hurting, and I didn't want to make it any worse, G-move, I would say, or escalate things to a point where my life could get any more complicated than it already was. It took some more convincing on my part for Sarah to truly and fully believe the wedding was off. She was not taking it well. Heck, that's an understatement. She was a wreck. And I didn't expect that card to be pulled out of my deck. That was me. I think she was hyperventilating a few times. I was holding it together, but obviously not only was this my idea, I also had longer to come up with the terms of it. She finally asked the serious question. What about us? What about us? What about us? Really quick before we get into the answer, Sam, chat, comments, what do you think?
About us?
Yeah, what do you think Opie should do in this situation? We kind of know where he's going.
Well, my understanding what OP's going to do right now is he's wedding postponed, honeymoon canceled, but relationship still there.
Yeah.
I probably would do the same. Like, I would probably like feel out what the relationship feels like, but it does, you know, learning that your partner is a great liar is just like never a good. Dude, I remember I was dating someone.
I think I know the story you're about to tell.
I don't
know if you know this
one.
Okay.
Maybe you do, but
right.
This was when I was like early college, late high school maybe, and the girl I was dating at the time had backed her car and accidentally hit someone's car. Ooh. Right, and the person gets out and like goes to the window, is like, hey, like, you know, where's your insurance? Like, come on, like, give your stuff. She starts instantly crying, and she's like, I can't find it. And then the guy goes like, oh, like, hey, like, it's fine. She's like, and then, you know, like, sorry, I'm just so flat. And blah, blah, blah. Turns on the waterworks. The guy ends up being like, hey, you know what? There's no, like, it's like barely a scratch. It's fine. She drives away. Instantly, she stops crying. And I'm like, oh, did you leave your insurance at home? She's like, oh, no, it's in the glove compartment. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that's...
When is that going to be? Like that was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
A little too good.
Like, you know, I'm like, I don't want to marry a good actress.
Yeah.
I want to know that I know what you're thinking.
Well, it's not about marrying the good actress. It's when do you use your good actress talents?
Well, but still, like, but honestly, it's like, you never know.
Yeah,
if they're a good actress. Yeah, it was. Yeah, so that kind of.
Samuel Donner not marrying actresses despite his upcoming LA glow up.
It's true. Yeah, despite my Kim K nose job.
Yeah,
in the works,
dude. The chat in the community is already fawning. It's just gonna be a mess.
Oh, dude, yeah.
It's gonna be just.
I want to grow my nose by 3 times though. Ooh. I want like Kim K's nose.
Yeah,
but 4.
Just like zoom in. Control plus.
Yeah, control plus.
Yeah.
You'll be able to breathe so well. Yeah.
But you're saying basically, hey, continue with what you're doing right now. Wedding and everything is off. Relationship is like under investigation, but still exists.
I think it would still exist, but it would really rock my confidence, and I think it might like within like a month or 2 peter out. But if there's some real work done, maybe it's just hard to know that your partner is a great liar.
You'd have to like really come back from this like really strong. Well, finally, she asked a serious question. What about us? Obi says, I know I am going to get a lot of hate from people for this, especially the kind of Redditors that think that every infraction in a relationship is grounds for nuking it from orbit. And indeed, one could even say that my calling off the wedding was like dropping a, what is that? MOAB?
A motor of all boats.
A motor of a boat. A motor of
a military orb. Actually birthed.
Ooh.
A Martian over a boy.
It's a BOOM.
Oh.
BOOM, a boom.
A boom, a big boom.
Shell shock.
We can do that.
Shell shock.
And indeed, one could even say that my calling off the wedding was like dropping a big on our 6-year relationship. But truthfully, I didn't have an answer for Sarah in that moment. I just didn't know, and I told her so. Quick cut take, totally fair.
Love it.
Like, that's exactly, like, this just happened. OP's immediately communicating. I don't see any issues.
I think this is a win. And I love it. I love to see it.
Good communication. I said I read all of those text messages, and it showed me a side of her that I didn't know existed and that I wasn't certain about her or our relationship anymore. I said I couldn't understand why she would go along with Evelyn, putting down Marty and joining in, even egging her on in cheating not only on him, but their daughter too.
Cheating on their daughter?
I guess basically saying like
that's the father of your daughter, and you're like,
go get another man for your daughter. You know, that's not the kind of man you want for your daughter. Yeah. She just kept saying, I know, it was wrong. I know. I asked her for an explanation, but she couldn't provide one. She said she just got carried away and that she had to choose her sister. Ooh, I don't like that.
Like, you can still be there for your sister, but not support every action that your sister makes. It's like a different thing, you know?
Low-key supporting someone, I feel like, is in these moments where they do something wrong. It's like, hey, you've done something wrong, and I want to support you to the path of light.
If someone you love starts like doing some addictive substances, you're not going to be like, you go, girl.
Let's go.
You do. Shoot that shit up, girl. Yeah. No, you're like, hey, maybe let's not do that. You know, that's what support looks like. It looks like condemning the bad and praising the good, not just praising every action.
Indeed. OP says, I told her that I thought a good sister was someone who kept you on the straight and narrow and didn't give you a free pass to be a D-bag. She agreed with me and said that she would do better, but that Evelyn had always been the boss when they were kids and she was always the follower. That's a...
If all your friends were jumping out a mountain, would you do it too?
Oh, yes, because she's always a leader and I'm always the follower. And that's how it works.
Maybe grow a brain.
Grow some freaking cojones. A little bit. Okay. I get this. I have an older sibling too, and while I am a bit more independent, I also spent the last 18 years of my life with him living on the other side of the planet, except for the odd occasional visit around Thanksgiving or Christmas. But still, maybe I had a leg up on Sarah because my older sibling was a decent guy, while Evelyn was a piece of trash. Now here is where I get the second major effing shock of my life in like 48 hours. Sarah says to me, "It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair."
What's not fair?
Opie says, "What's not fair?"
Hey, that's what I said.
Haha. I ask her, "You were spicy texting that bimbo wife Mandy girl on Instagram last year, and I got over it."
Whoa. Hey, whoa.
New information has entered the chat. This is again Sarah accusing. We'll run it back. We're running it back. So you were spicy texting that bimbo wife Mandy girl on Instagram last year, and I got over it. I was so hurt, but I got over it. Why can't you get over this? Why? Huh? What? What the heck is she talking about? OP says. Who is this bimbo wife Mandy? Like, I have no effing clue. I ask her if she was high or having a psychotic break. Like, okay, that was mean of me, but I have absolutely not been doing cyber spicy sleep or spicy sleep texting or whatever with anyone, especially not some Instagram girl. I'm protesting pretty loudly at this point, and Sarah is yelling at me through her tears, telling me that she saw the messages last year and that she had decided not to confront me because I had stopped it. Evidently, she had been checking my socials from my home computer when I'm at work, which should have been really boring because I only have family and a couple of work friends on there. Conspiracy theory. Sarah protects a cheater. Sarah, it seems, accuses of cheating. Is it a leap to say that Sarah herself
has cheated?
Has cheated, is a cheater.
I don't want to go there yet. I don't want to go there. I don't think I don't think so.
We have a whole nother part of this story.
I might go there.
I don't think she is.
Could we poll cheater
is she cheating
or not?
Is she cheating?
Is she cheating or not?
Is she not?
I try to make this case to her, offering to let her log into all my accounts and check for herself. But she's just calling me a liar and a pervert and all kinds of other crap. She starts throwing stuff at me, and so things are getting out of hand, and I tell her that I'll have her taken out of this house just like her sister. Whoa. She swears at me and stomps off to the master bedroom and slams the door. Now, at this point, I am so dang confused, I barely know what to think. I head into my office, fire up my desktop, and type up bimbo wife Mandy into Google. And sure enough, there is an Instagram, a Twitter, a Reddit, and of course, a Spicy Pans and Only Pans page. I click on one of the Instagram links and it comes up with an extremely busty woman, like clearly pushing the limits of science and technology. And oh, guess where she's from? Australia. I feel like Opie's laying something down.
That is some that's some technology.
Oh,
are you looking at
technology has been pushed to limits?
Yes. Oh. Wait, there's only 180. No, she has 329. Wow.
That is not natural.
That is pushing science and technology.
Okay, so she accused him of cheating with her, but
I am not. Now, his brother's from Australia. I feel like Opie's laying something down.
Yeah.
I'm not picking it up.
The brother's been subscribing to something.
Oh,
that's my conspiracy theory.
The brother.
Yeah. So the brother has his Instagram and is using it to hide from his wife. So that's what's happening.
Right.
Or it could be lying because that's kind of a stretch.
Sam, how you doing over there?
Oh, I went all the way to the bottom to see if I could see like the beginnings of them.
Right. You gotta thoroughly invest it for science.
I think they've gotten
for science.
I think she started posting in. Oh wait, no, I'm still going deeper. I'm still going deeper.
Oh, are you now?
I want to see, like, is this something that was like, this is for, okay, here we go.
Is she used as a scapegoat for people who want to accuse their partners of doing something?
Oh, wow. Oh my God.
Wait,
Okay.
I need to see
Dude.
Wait,
This was her in 2006.
Oh, wow.
That's her now.
Whoa.
She's been putting in the work. Wow. That is a crazy transformation. I think you can see that that was not what she was born with.
So basically you're saying anything is possible, ladies.
Anything is possible. You know, like, you can have a...
Sam is really investigating.
Bro is locked. Look at him on that phone over there.
Is your mom here too?
What do you mean? What?
Your mom's here.
My mom's not here.
Yes, she is.
She was here this morning.
She's still here.
My mom. Oh, my mom might be downstairs. I'm doing it for science.
Research.
I'm literally researching, and I research. But that's crazy. Do you see that transformation? 2006.
What was that notification?
What?
It said new subscription confirmed.
Welcome, Samuel Donner. You're being a subscriber.
Discord welcome chat.
We were doing research for a Discord, and
when Sam was doing research,
I was researching, and some of the best Discords out there are for OF models, and I joined one under my real anyway. All right,
under his real name and announced to everyone, Samuel Donner, new subscriber.
Welcome to our community.
It was some like ASMR girly.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, yeah.
I am fine. I'm not even. I'm zen.
We're here. We're going to get back to the story. We're going to lock back in.
He just meditated, guys.
Yeah, he just meditated, if you know what we're talking about. But also, I wanted to say real quick, the poll is literally 50-50 split, right?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what was our poll?
Literally 50, was Sarah cheating or not? And chat is split. So are we. I'm saying she's cheating. You're saying she's not. This is kind of crazy. This is a like
Riley
maybe
tiebreaker.
Yeah. What do you think, actually?
I'm literally in the middle, but
Dude.
I don't think she is.
Okay. So right now we're on Riley was like the House of Representatives.
Yep. But like also like I do think she is. I'm like, hey,
choose a side, guys.
Okay. Well, you know what? There's only one way to find out in this next part. So Obi says, well, everyone, remember all the nice stuff I was talking about my brother? Guess who was staying with us last Christmas all the way from Australia? Guess who I told, sure, go ahead and use my office computer to play games if you have jet lag. As far as I can tell, my brother, after his wife and kids went to sleep, logged into either her Insta, her OnlyPans, or something and was probably paying money to spicy sleep text this girl. What a great effing guy.
And Sam, who is he actually talking to?
He's talking to usually their manager, which is like a dude. And like the dude is like, oh yeah, big boy, you like these like
these backbreakers.
To be clear, I'm not like that's not for me.
You are Australian and a brother. You have a lot in common with this guy.
Those kinds of body modifications is not something that I am personally.
I don't know, man. You did some deep research, man.
I am a man of science. I am a man of science, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. But no, I'm more of a butt man than anything else. And historically, I have the data to back it up.
That is true. I will give him that. As a buttman myself.
As the buttman of the podcast. Thank you, Riley. Thank you. And yeah,
you're welcome.
He's seen the ladies that I've dated.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, back to the story. Where are we going, guys? Where is the story taking us? I would love to call my brother and not only confirm my suspicions, but also give him a good goddamn earful. But it's like 2 or 3 in the morning there, so it's going to have to wait. But I am crawling the walls here, trying to sort out how I feel about everything. I feel totally let down by everyone. I think to myself, dang, what is this world coming to? For a brief moment, I connect the dots between whatever the heck Sarah saw my brother do and what she did with Evelyn. But try as I might, it doesn't really come together. And I think what he's saying by this is like, I let my fiance go on his cheating, so I've like earned the pass to like help my sister. You know what I mean? Like I earned this,
like she's vicariously cheating.
Yeah.
Maybe she's not doing it. Maybe she got it out by helping Evelyn.
Maybe.
It's kind of like World of Warcraft or like Second Life. You're like playing this game because you can't do it in real life, but you have this world where you can like be the thing that you want to be.
Is that why your Second Life character subscribed to
That's my first life character.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Cut. Oh, okay, we'll stop. So, maybe she's a more tolerant and forgiving person. Sorry, guys. My meditation alarm. Not that kind of meditation. Not that kind of meditation.
New subscriber.
Don't you get your little. I shouldn't have said anything. I just opened the door of the spin cycle and walked right in.
So much crap.
I walked right in. Anyways, maybe she's a more tolerant and forgiving person than I am, which is why she didn't confront me when she saw this. But I wish she had. It would have given me an opportunity to directly tell her my whole personal stance on these things and to even show her how I would act. It might have influenced her in a good way later on, or maybe it wouldn't have mattered. I don't know. All I know is that this post is becoming a novel, and I have blown off most of the morning when I should have been working to get this out of my head and onto this page. I feel better for doing it, but there's still probably 2 to 3 posts left to tell. And ladies and gentlemen, we got a whole other episode, so just stay buckled in. I'm not going to post them to the subreddit anymore. I'm not sure that they'd let me do it, but I will try to quietly update my profile in the next day or two with the rest of the blowout, talking to my brother, talking to my parents and Sarah's parents, and finally where Sarah and I stand.
Oh my gosh, this is a soap opera.
This is a soap freaking opera, and not one that I would eat.
You eat soap? Oh yeah.
Dude, John
eats soap so much.
It happens.
This is the second time he's done this.
Yeah.
It happens, man.
John will eat soap. It's all right. John texts me and he's like, Sam, I ate soap. I might be late to work. And I'm like, again?
Again.
Literally the whole day. What happens? Because you're like spitting into a cup or like.
Yeah, so basically it starts frothing. Right? It just starts frothing up. And I have to, literally, if I don't, my mouth will just be full of bubbles. So I have to just constantly, like, haktua the bubbles.
And John and I are on meetings throughout the day. He's literally, it's like he's like, yeah, like the guys that do dip and are like sitting in a can. Like, that is
it's
John.
I was about to say, you look like my uncle. I was like, okay, cool.
I'm a clean redneck.
I was kind of used to it. I was like, oh, okay. If I thought about soap, it disgusted me. But if I thought about like dip and tobacco, I was like, okay, this is cool.
I'm not going to be honest. Like there was part of me that like every time John went in, I'm like, ugh.
Same.
Yeah,
Same.
I couldn't help it.
Yeah.
Although, by the way, and I told this story on stream yesterday. The first time was when we did the Dr. Phil Man on the Street videos.
Yeah, I remember that.
Luckily, there's enough time in between. So, anyways, so back to the story.
Man loves his soap.
I love soap. But Sarah in this story is not squeaky clean, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh.
Because OP says one thing that I can say, however, is it seems like most of my immediate family relationships are incredibly strained for various reasons. My parents are largely supportive, but that's becoming less so now that the reality of the financial loss is setting in. Remember, they're losing all the stuff from the wedding. Yes, the marriage is still off. That was pretty much a certainty from the get-go. Sarah's parents are a bit more pissed, and I'm sure they are sticking pins in voodoo dolls crafted in my image right now. Evelyn, for most people wondering, is no longer in jail. She's hashtag free Evelyn.
She's free.
Hashtag free Evelyn. She got Sarah to bail her out, and I even laid into Sarah for that, calling her sister's underling, which I actually think struck a chord, and it was not a minor with her, because she wrote me like a 20-page letter about how her sister always bossed her throughout her entire childhood. I've read it twice now, and I wish we had talked about this pretty much any time we had within the last 6 years.
Ooh, so they don't communicate?
They had 6 years to You know,
I feel like you would know that kind of stuff by that
right?
point.
In 6 years of time.
I think he knew it, and that's why he said it, but she didn't explain it, if that makes sense. He always saw it, because this guy's pretty insightful.
Yeah, like they didn't have a full in-depth conversation, like breaking it down together, and her kind of like
well, that
sharing.
means he didn't ask. If he saw and didn't ask, if you see something, say something.
That is true.
If you see something,
True.
Yeah.
say
True,
something.
true,
Yeah,
true.
that is
Yes,
true,
this is
because
true.
of all the nights they've been together eating meals, not like, hey, your sister said this, like, how are you feeling?
Yeah.
I think it's on both of them, honestly.
I agree. Possibly hot take. Chat, comments, eviscerate us if you want, but that's what the three of us believe.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about it in the comments. But
Also,
anyway.
for the person asking about the Dr. Phil stuff, if you haven't seen the Dr. Phil video, I think someone in the chat probably has seen it. Help them out.
Yeah.
But we were
Drop a
on Dr.
link.
Phil.
Anyways, Reddit, if anyone is still interested, expect a final chapter of this saga in like a day or two, and maybe a follow-up after the former wedding date passes. And we got some relevant comments we haven't heard yet from everyone else in this. Relevant comment from Serenity Moon 394. Well, that was a ride I was not anticipating. Just binged the whole thing. It is an incredible story that sounds like it belongs in a telenovela. I've noticed that there has been some debate on the authenticity of this post, but have been having a practicing lawyer for the past 10 years, mostly criminal law with a very light sprinkling of divorce/custody law. I have seen and heard things like this and even beyond. Fact is stranger than fiction. First of all, you know your relationship better than any stranger on the internet ever will. With that being said, as an outsider looking in, here are some things to consider moving forward. So we got the lawyer of 10 years giving her take. Evelyn will be a constant figure in your life if you reconcile with Sarah. They are sisters. She bailed her out after she got physical with you. Regardless of any control/manipulation/bullying that Sarah is claiming, it does not appear, at least at the moment, that she is willing to face that and stand up for herself, if she ever will. Consider that Evelyn might be a hostile relationship that you will be signing up for if you decide to continue with Sarah.
Shit. The map changed, bro.
Oh, really?
It's now to Wilshire.
We're not on Wilshire.
We're fine. Or it's still fine, but that's crazy.
Should we... Let's see what Travis like.
Oh, I thought you said our boy's name, our
Dude,
resident hero's name.
look how close the fire is to Santa Monica proper. For everyone who's here, we live in Santa Monica and there's a huge fire.
Yep.
Very close that we can actually see from our place. But I doubt it's gonna cross like the freeway. Like, there's no way it crosses like Olympic. Like, I think it's not gonna cross. Like, I think the chance
it slows down drastically without the brush.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like a hurricane. Like hurricanes that like enter Florida, or like when they hit the land, they start weakening as soon as they touch the land.
Yeah, guys, we're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
We're
just updating ourselves.
Yeah, we're just updating ourselves.
Up to date on this,
We want to make sure, but I think we'll be okay.
Not saying people aren't able to change, but it is rare and only if the person is willing to for themselves, not for anybody else. Good point. Fighting is too unhealthy. On the flip side, not fighting at all is equally as unhealthy. We are all human. We have things that annoy us, past experiences that shape the way we think, differences in opinion and perspective, insecurities. No one gets along all the time, and if they do, then no real truthful communication is occurring. It is not a genuine relationship. Vast majority of the time, my husband and I get along wonderfully. He is my best friend. But goodness knows, we have had our arguments. Petty things that aggravate us, emotional things, needing alone time, bad days at work, or just being hangry. It happens. The key is how you solve it and how you communicate when these things happen. The messages she forgave you for, but never told you about. A couple of ways to look at this. A, she was saving it as a get out of jail free card if she ever needed it. Such as in this very moment, most people would think that she has done the same or at least thought about it. B, she is insecure and or not comfortable talking to you about this, which low-key she's afraid of confronting her sister too, so maybe there's some stuff there too. If this is the case, it very well might be that she was following her sister because that is who she is, non-confrontational and preferring to keep the peace no matter the circumstances. This is something she must work on herself with therapy, because she will never have a healthy relationship with anyone. She can never truly love someone because she doesn't love herself. Confrontations are needed, not all the time, but absolutely in situations such as the DMs. Choosing to stay silent versus voicing valid concerns means she is not being truthful with you or herself. Still going. It's highly concerning the stages of her behavior after canceling the wedding. First, the crying, then bringing up the DMs. Finally, with the physically throwing things at you when it sets in that the wedding has really been canceled. It is the physical attacking that raises the biggest flag, especially after everything with her sister. I understand emotion and intentions were high, but it's never an excuse for this type of behavior. The vast majority of DV cases are not a one and done deal. This could be an exception, but I've seen too much in my years of working. Statistically, it usually continues and escalates. The real test will be after the previously scheduled wedding date. In listing out some of the reasons she was trying to convince you to change your mind, one thing stuck out to me: embarrassing. Is this all just to save face? Not to have to go through the embarrassment of having to inform family and friends that the wedding has been canceled? Or is it because of her legitimate feelings towards you? Going back to the non-confrontational aspect of her personality you have painted, this scenario might be her worst nightmare. Having to have awkward and embarrassing conversations about what has occurred versus going into her comfort zone, keeping the peace. This might be nothing, but just a thought. On the future relationship with in-laws, I support your decision in exposing the affair, saying that you have not only canceled a wedding, again, support with Sarah, losing money, etc., but you have also exposed Evelyn's lies, which led to her marriage deteriorating. It's not your fault. Evelyn's decisions are hers to blame. But how will Sarah and Evelyn's parents view it? Because remember, again, they're sisters.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm telling the parents about Evelyn's thing, about Sarah's. You kind of got to tell them the whole kit and caboodle to say why you're breaking off the wedding, right? God,
Agreed.
Dude, imagine his parents hearing that. Like,
dude, there's just so much.
What are my daughters doing?
Yeah, dude.
What are my kids doing?
Just one after another. I don't know if they raised them right.
Right? Kind of crazy. Goes all the way up to the top. Will they blame and enable their daughter's behavior? Or will they be the parents and understand that while they love them, their daughter's actions were wrong? Already being said, but bears repeating, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Cheating is deplorable. Lying through omission is still lying. You saw the messages. We did not. But based off your account, Sarah did not bat an eye at what her sister was doing, didn't condemn it. She encouraged it. She could have easily come to you as her fiance with what was going on. She chose not to. When it blew up in her face, it is then that she brings up the history with the sister. You have been with this woman for 6 years and she fails to mention any of this until the moment you call the wedding off. Is it truth or convenience? I don't know which is which, but the one thing I know is always true is that you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just go to Spotify.
We have a podcast. You could just listen to this while you're, doing other stuff.
Almost
listen to our
1900
voices.
episodes.
Yeah.
Insane.
24/7, 365. You never have to be alone.
You never
with the voices
have to stop.
inside your head. You can be alone with the voices that are coming from our heads into your head.
Yeah, I literally had their voices stuck in my head for a solid 3 months.
Hey.
I started listening to them.
There we go.
Yeah.
Go to Spotify or wherever you listen and just search OK Storytime. It's going to pop right up and take a binge. But Sam, we are about to end part 2 of this 3-part saga.
It's been a doozy.
It's been a doozy. Do you still agree? We just broke down he has to expose Evelyn and his stuff to the parents. Do you still agree with telling the parents? And if so, why?
The truth comes out either way. I think telling your parents makes sense.
That's easy. Yeah.
That's easy.
Makes sense.
I don't know if going to tell her parents, she can tell her own parents.
Maybe you do what we suggested at the very beginning of the series. Tell them or I will, right? Where it's hey,
tell her parents.
Tell her parents. Because if OP's thinking okay, if I don't tell them, and
because they
then
need to tell because of the wedding stuff,
they
you need to know.
They need to know.
No, fair.
Because of everything. So it's hey, look, tell the parents. These are your parents. I don't want to have to break the news to them. So how about you just be the one to do it? That's the best way here. I'm not trying to stab you in the back or whatever, but they just need to know the truth because of the wedding and everything else it implies.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. So I think I like our classic piece of advice always works.
Tried and freaking true, ladies and gentlemen. Tried and true. Well, let's get to the end of this part. So With that book being written, I am still an outsider looking in, the commenter says. You are at the best vantage point to determine what is right for you moving forward. I understand the time crunch with the wedding/affair. I understand wanting to make sure they didn't have an opportunity to try and hide it. That being said, you do need to have a talk with your brother so as not to be labeled a hypocrite by Sarah, her family, your own inner conscience, and online strangers following this. In an ideal world, Evelyn should have told Marty herself and owned up to what she had done. And in an ideal world, your brother shouldn't do the same so his wife doesn't have to hear it from you or anyone else. And then OP responds. I do think that Sarah is very conflict avoidant, people pleaser type of person. I also think I largely ignored it because it worked in my favor, especially when I was the person she was trying to please. Ooh, that's an important one. OP kind of let her people pleasing thing because he was the person benefiting from it. Kind of? A red flag.
From OP?
From OP.
Yeah.
I don't want
to point.
It's not great.
Yeah.
It's not a good look. It's not a good look.
People in the chat are like, I don't know if I like OP. I saw a few comments like that.
Yeah, I mean, I do think he has gone a little far in some places, but I don't want to point blame yet.
All right. OP says, I mean, it feels great to have a doting girlfriend until it becomes apparent that the core reason for this behavior is an overwhelming insecurity that leaves her vulnerable to all sorts of manipulation. That being said, I don't know how much this understanding counts for, other than making me a bit sad that I don't have a time machine.
Wow.
And that's the end of part 2. But again,
we got part 3.
We have part 3 that gives us the finale, the end of the saga, the answers to the questions.
Yeah. And if you want to see that finale, you freaking better subscribe right now because we got big stories coming to you.
That's right.
Yeah. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.